More on today's briefing, we are joined by our political reporter, Aldrin Sampear. Aldrin, good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us. Do tell us, the IEC says yesterday it held an extraordinary meeting. Tell us about some of those resolutions they came up with.
Well, I think the biggest thing coming out of that meeting, and we spoke about it actually yesterday as well, is that the IEC has now decided to go to the Constitutional Court to seek clarity around the Constitutional Court's ruling last year with regards to the Tlokwe municipal by-elections, which were held in 2013. Remember that when the independent candidates went to the electoral court first, and they failed there, they eventually went to the Constitutional Court. And at the Constitutional Court, the full bench of the justices there said that, listen, the voters' roll must be in order, it must bear the addresses of all those who will be participating in those polls. And the candidates who will be participating must have access to that voters' roll. So now we have the IEC saying that, listen, it is a bit difficult considering that they didn't have enough time on their side to make sure that they have all the addresses of those people who will be participating in the Tlokwe by-elections particularly. And the IEC raising the issue that nationally around 64% of the people don't have permanent or formal residential addresses. And that is a problem for the IEC. And the clarity that they want from the Constitutional Court, does the Constitutional Court then say that, listen, you cannot go ahead with an election if the voters' roll is not 100% accurate in terms of the addresses of all those people who will be participating in this court case? The other issue is whether the ruling, which was done last year, whether it is retrospective. What does it say about people who registered back in 1998 when the voters' roll was started back in 1998? Does it then nullify those who don't have addresses since 1998 and only now looking into the future? So those are some of the clarity that they'll be seeking from the Constitutional Court.
But now, Aldrin, the IEC's time excuse, shall we call it, is that valid? Did they not have enough time to, of course, do as the Constitutional Court instructed them?
If I'm not mistaken, I think after the ruling they were given about 60 days to go ahead with to rerun the by-elections in Tlokwe. And the issue, for instance, in a place like the Northwest, where you have like some informal settlements, the issue that was raised by the ANC as well is that you have residents who live in areas in informal settlements, like there's an informal settlement called Marikana. So those people obviously don't have formal addresses, which is what the Electoral Act seeks, that there must be some sort of a formal address or at least a sort of address that the IEC can assure itself that this person actually does live in the area. They did say that they have come up with some sort of mechanism to work around that. How to identify where you live, for instance. If they find that you live next to a lamppost, they'll say that Alisha Jali lives next to a lamppost, and that's where they put you.
All right. All right. Now, before I let you go, what was the way forward in terms of the by-elections? Are they going to take place this year? Did they mention anything about that?
You see, the strange thing really about this decision by the IEC is that the IEC is appealing the Electoral Court ruling. However, though, it is still going ahead with implementing the Electoral Court's ruling. Even though they're appealing it at the Constitutional Court, they say they will continue to make sure that the by-elections are run in Tlokwe I think they were given 6 weeks by the Electoral Court, make sure that those elections are run. They'll also put in mechanisms to make sure that they live up or try to live up to those expectations by the Electoral Court. But whether they'll be able to do that before the 16th of August, that's when the deadline to hold the municipal elections would be, it's yet to be seen whether they'll be able to do that. But they say no decision is yet to postpone the municipal elections.
I mean, what's the IEC saying about the voters' roll now?
What are they saying about the voters?
What are they saying about the voters' registrations? Are things on tracks in terms of the municipal elections?
Well, they say that they're ready for the municipal elections, and remember this weekend as well. It will be the first registration weekend. So they say it's all systems go, and there's no decision yet to postpone. So definitely sure that they'll be going ahead with the municipal elections, according to them. That is, we're still waiting though for the Minister of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Des van Rooyen, to announce the date on which the municipal elections will be held.
Aldrin, thank you so much for that update. Aldrin Sampear with us in studio on the IEC.